Song Yadong just got the biggest win of his career, no doubt, man. Dude, this Chinese crowd, as you can hear someone there saying, like, hear that crowd? They were going insane for Song Yadong winning, but they were also very, very, very silent leading up to this because not only was this the biggest win of Song Yadong's career, but he saved this entire night for China. They were about to look the worst fighting country ever, hosting this entire event and having all of their guys just get smashed. So I'm going to go through the whole main card. I've got picks and videos for each of the different best parts, but let's get straight into it with the main event. Song Yadong versus Deiveson Figueiredo. Good fight. Smart fight from Song Yadong. Honestly, I thought that he would be a little bit more reckless. I picked Deiveson, but the biggest reason why I picked Deiveson was because of the odds. I'm like, and I think even when you look at it, I don't think Song deserved to be a 4-1 favorite. The first round was basically them just like feeling each other out, see what's happening, not really overcommitting to anything. Song threw like a few leg kicks that weren't really doing much. In fact, Figgy was actually getting the better of the first round with a couple of good body kicks, like whipped those body kicks right into Song, landed a good right hook over the guard as he was rushing in on him. And I felt like there was a way that Figgy could have won. I felt good about my bet in particular. Again, if it's 50-50, I'm picking Song, But second round, he starts putting it all together. Honestly, maybe he should have been a 4-1 favorite based on the second round because he just starts lighting Deiveson Figueiredo up. Big leg kicks, big punches, coming in, doing damage, getting out of the way, not really taking anything. Every time Figgy goes to come in, he's just out of the way and then comes back in, bang, 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 bang. And Figgy's just like looking not only lost, but like he's getting beat up bad. He's smiling, he's like, yeah, okay, come on, let's do it then. But just being made to look a bit like a fool from Song, really getting outclassed on the feet. And then to talk about getting outclassed, Figgy goes to try and get a takedown, and Song wraps up a guillotine and uses Figgy's own finishing move on him. Takes out an ex-champion with his own signature submission. Very, very, very well done by Song Yadong. I think that a fight that makes the most sense for him now has to be Umar Nurmagomedov. He's fourth in the rankings, Song Yadong is, or he's fifth or something like that. Obviously, this fight doesn't put him anywhere. He's fought pretty much everybody else, and guess who didn't fight everybody else in bantamweight? Umar Nurmagomedov. So let's put those guys together. I think that would be a sick striking fight. And you've got, Team Alpha Male, that grappling, like, they're not slouches, man. I don't think Umar's going to have the easiest time in the world with Song Yadong. So I'm interested to see if they can put that fight together. But some of the comments here, man, I actually told him to do this. I had Song winning, but by submission is crazy. Well deserved, though. Figgy did better than expected at 38 to take a round from a young prospect like that, but you can tell he's aging and not the same anymore. This guy used capitals for everything. Give me Song versus Umar in July Abu Dhabi card if Song is willing to do a quick turnaround like that. Yeah, I agree with that. Like, at 38 to take a round from Song Yadong, pretty good. And maybe if they'd have fought over the 5 rounds, he might have been able to make it like a close, 48-47 or split decision, but Figgy needs to retire. I could sort of see that. I mean, don't get me wrong, he still could easily be like a great gatekeeper. He stops those up-and-coming guys from being able to storm the gates, but what do you need? I mean, how much money have you made at this point in your career? Probably a decent amount with those Moreno fights and everything. Like, he was on bigger cards sometimes. Like, I think he made a good amount in his career. So anyway, moving on to Sergei Pavlovich versus Tallison. Fraud Teixeira, man. When this guy came into the UFC as like an 8-0 prospect, beating, all the guys like really easily, everyone thought that he was going to come in and dominate. He gets destroyed by Derek Lewis in less than a round, and then Sergei Pavlovich, he's making these unks look like they're back to being their 27-year-old selves, dude. Like, this literally looked like the Sergei Pavlovich of old, where he just was on that 5-fight, 5 first-round finish streak, where he was going in there and knocking everybody out. Tallison Teixeira basically starts out by, trying to use his range. He's using like a front kick. He's using like oblique kicks to push to try and push Sergei Pavlovich away. A couple of light punches, but once Sergei realizes, like, oh, sort of like Carlos Prates said, like, oh, you're not here, you're not trying to knock me out. Once Sergei Pavlovich realized that Tallison Teixeira was not in there to knock him out, he goes, well, I am, so here we go. Bang, 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 bang. And just literally puts Tallison Teixeira down, making him look super goofy as he's 6'8". He's like, whoa, whoa, I'm going everywhere. And then just holds him down and starts feeding him hooks while he's on the ground until eventually the ref has to stop it. Beautiful, like 30-40 second performance from Sergei Pavlovich. I guess him versus Volkov rematch. I don't want to see them versus each other again. They were friends. Why do we need to have that fight again? Maybe they should, because maybe they'll squash the beef fully. But Aspinall wasn't Sergei's first loss. Overeem beat him first. Yeah, whatever. At UFC, I'm begging you guys, please cut Tallison, bro. He's not going to win ever again. You'll try giving him hype because of his height. He doesn't even use well. It's so true. Tallison Teixeira does not use his height well at all. And for reals, did I get a picture of this? I don't think I did, but do you guys all remember the fact that Tallison Teixeira is meant to be Alex Pereira's sparring partner for moving up to heavyweight? You've all seen these pictures and videos of those two sparring together, right? Like, that's not good. That's not good for Alex Pereira. I was sitting here super high going, not super high, although I probably am generally super high, but super high on Alex Pereira smashing the shit out of Cyril Gane. I'm telling everybody, like, bet the house on Alex Pereira. He's going to come out there and just fucking basically do what Sergei Pavlovich just did to Tallison Teixeira. But I don't know now. When you look at some of those pictures and videos of Tallison Teixeira and Pereira sparring, Tallison's like clocking him, like full on spinning his jaw in moments. So, I don't know. Oh my God. I mean, I should have thought, I don't even know why I put any stock in Tallison Teixeira doing any well here after that fight with Tai Tuivasa, where they were both completely exhausted by the end of the 3 rounds. But anyway, it was good to see Sergei Pavlovich get a nice KO, man. There was like pretty much all finishes on this card except for fucking Jake Matthews. And I will get to Jake Matthews in a bit, because as an Australian, can we just get rid of this fucking guy? Seriously, send him elsewhere. Moving on to Alonzo Menifield, my boy, versus Zhang Mingyang. This was actually the co-main event, but I guess I messed up the order. Dude. You should have, you know how the crowd was like going crazy after Song Yadong won? Well, the crowd after Zhang Mingyang got beat up by Alonzo Menifield and basically left unconscious on the ground, they were silent, dude. They were completely silent. It was like, I don't know why Zhang Mingyang was such a favorite after getting destroyed by Johnny Walker of all people, but in this fight, man, it was competitive. Don't get me wrong; these guys came out swanging and banging. This was one of the most fun fights on the card. To me, probably the most fun fight on the card. So Alonzo comes out and is honestly piecing up, in my opinion, Zhang Mingyang to start, like big leg kicks, getting good reactions. Like Zhang's like, yeah, okay, leg kicks, like haha, because he lost. And Alonzo's just still giving him back to him, and you can tell that they are hurting him, and he's hitting him with the hands, getting some good shots off. But at the end of the day, Zhang Mingyang still does have knockout power, right? And so he catches Menifield back and stumbles Menifield, and at this point they're just brawling. They start both swanging and banging, they're throwing everything into it. Menifield sort of had a perfect game plan. He wore Zhang Mingyang wore him down up against the fence for a bit, and then they just get, Jesus Christ, oh fuck, there's water going everywhere. Fuck it, I'm gonna have to clean that up in a sec. But Fuck. So, perfect game plan from Alonzo Menifield. Starts with the leg kick, starts piecing him up, wears him down against the fence. After he gets clocked, they're swinging and banging, going fucking crazy. But Alonzo Menifield just catches him with like a few beautiful hooks right on the button as Zhang Mingyang's trying to get out of the way. Just catches him like straight on the face. And then there's like this one moment, I had it in the thumbnail, but as right before Zhang Mingyang goes down finally for like the last time, he's like, and Menifield just coming with the right hand goes, bang, and fucking sends him down and just finishes it up with a couple more shots. At this point in the night, no Chinese fighters in the entire card had a single win. Okay, so it was getting bad for the boys. It was getting bad for my yellow fellas out in China, out in Macau. They had a lot of money spent on that event. I'm sure all the Chinese gamblers probably put all their money on Zhang Mingyang. And Alonzo Menifield, that's probably why the favorites, all these Chinese bettors. I didn't even think about that. It's all the Chinese just putting money on their hometown guys to win. I'm out here betting on Alonzo Menifield and getting 3-1 on my money against like the easiest guy to break in the world. The light heavyweight division is starting to become like the heavyweight division where, I mean, what is this? Seriously, are you telling me that like Zhang Mingyang's meant to be the best light heavyweight fighter out of China? What the hell, man? Anyway, moving on to, what is this? Oh, Kai Asakura. So he finally got his win. Look at how happy he is. And look at Cameron Smotherman. He's unconscious. But Kai Asakura is so happy. Now, check out why he's so happy. He's so happy because Cameron Smotherman is borderline fucking retarded, bro. Like, dude, we all know that Kai Asakura's grappling is trash. He got subbed by Tim Elliott after, like, not being able to put him away. But Cameron Smotherman decides, I'm not going to go for a single takedown in this fight, and instead, I'm going to just stand up and strike with Kai Asakura, the guy that has highlight reel KOs all over the world. Let's see how that went for him. Boom. Oh, look, he's completely unconscious. Good work. Just let's watch that again. Ding, ding, bong, bing, bong, down. I was probably covering it all before, wasn't I? We'll give it one more. Ding, ding, ding. And now I just, ding, ding. Fucking idiot, Cameron Smotherman. I had a bet on Cameron Smotherman because I'm like, look, if he's not fucking Down syndrome, then he's going to basically use his grappling to beat Kai, and it'll be straightforward, easy victory. No, can't do it. He fucking has to try and stand up with this guy the whole time, and obviously in less than a round, Kai Asakura just murks him. What are some of the comments here say? Rethinks his career choice. Yeah. I mean, what the fuck was that, bro? No offense, but his opponent was 12-5. Got to see him fight a high-level opponent before he gets his hype again. Yeah, like, this was a can. But Kai Asakura is sort of a can crusher, you know? Obviously, he stacked up his record in Ryzen, not with, like, the best grapplers in the world or anything like that. But I think that I have the best choice of the next fighter to face Kai Asakura. I think we got to do Cody No Love Garbrandt, bro. We got to get another dummy in there that doesn't want to grapple, that has no chin, and we can just see Kai Asakura get another flatline KO, man. Could you imagine how Cody Garbrandt would have done in this fight? It would have been terrible. Just some other comments on Instagram. They say, let's go Kai, let's go Kai. I guess Asians just use Instagram. This feels so good to see after having been a fan of blah, blah, blah. Fucking Teixeira just died. Okay. Moving on to, oh my fucking arch nemesis, Jake Matthews. This fucking guy, dude. Like, he's Australian. And look, Australians, we're not the smartest people in the world, to be fair. But Jake Matthews is a special kind of fucking dumb. Like, it's ridiculous how dumb he is. Let's go through some of the... I'm curious about some of these comments. This is no jokes. Why is everyone talking about the Kai Asakura thing? That was frustrating. Yeah, here's like the comment that I resonate with. Jesus, that was a frustrating fight to watch. Jake had multiple opportunities for the TKO, especially on the ground where he had mount. Bro either gambling or just didn't want to finish, dude. Literally, so get this. Like, first round basically starts, right? Let's actually look at the stats on the first round, because I think that Jake Matthews' stats here, it was sort of crazy. Like, first round was nice. He was piecing up Carlston Harris bad. Like, Carlston Harris took this fight on 3 weeks' notice, right? And in the first round, Jake Matthews lands 46 strikes, pretty much landing like 100% of his shots on this guy, right? His accuracy was, is that 55% or 65%? Either way, it felt like 100%. He was literally landing everything and getting big reactions out of Carlston Harris the whole time. I don't know how he didn't get him out of there, but by the end of the first round, you're like, okay, this isn't going to last much longer. Starting by the second round, Carlston Harris just comes in and basically pulls guard, okay? So it just goes, hey, Jake Matthews, get on top of me, right? Jake Matthews gets to mount in like 2 seconds, falls off, gets back to mount, well, he's in half guard. Over the entire round, he landed 22 significant strikes. Was not able to finish Carlston Harris, who was basically begging to be finished. There were moments where Jake Matthews has him like up against the cage and he's trying to go for an arm triangle choke. But it's like, you're not going to fit between him and the cage. What are you doing trying to arm triangle choke this guy right now? Posture up and start beating the shit out of him. You knocked him down multiple times already. Like, and then he would get up and then he'd knock him down and then he'd get on top of him and do nothing, which was basically what happened in the third round. Like, in the third round, Jake Matthews gets more strikes, 41-8, okay? But you have to understand that literally, like, immediately into the third round, Jake Matthews knocks Carlston Harris down bad and then does nothing other than grapple him and try and hug him and, like, try and get a choke that's just not happening. Just not happening. So I can't... This is why I didn't bet on Carlston Harris, because I'm like, look, 3 weeks notice. He was meant to fight Muslim Salikov originally, okay? If Jake Matthews had fought Muslim Salikov, he would have gotten eaten. Muslim Salikov could have beaten both of these guys in one night. He's an unk. He's 400 years old, but he would have walked in there, slimed out Carlston Harris, and then he would have beaten Jake Matthews because Jake Matthews just would have made the worst decisions the entire fight and lost. If they put Jake Matthews up against anyone in the top 15 at welterweight, he's in like the hardest division in the world with some of the like craftiest people. Could you imagine if they put Jake Matthews up against Carlos Prates? And I think that's like my biggest frustration, right? It's like, if you look at Jake Matthews against the Carlos Prates, you'd be like, wow, this guy has all the physical attributes. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. He's big and strong. And like, he should be just a weapon. And you look at Carlos Prates and you go, oh, this guy smokes cigarettes. He's like frail. Looks like his legs would break if you kicked them. I think if like, look, you know, this guy's from Australia. He should just rugby tackle Carlos Prates and he'd be able to destroy him. And then you know the reality, which is that when they both get in the ring, one of those two men actually wants to destroy the other guy's soul, and the other, like, doesn't even know what day it is or what he's doing in the fucking octagon, man. It's crazy. As an Australian, I'm like, I just can't support Jake Matthews. Fuck. Anyway, moving on. Check this out. This pissed me off. This had me going right at the start of the whole fucking event. I don't know if you need to watch the whole thing, but basically, Alex Perez versus Sumudaerji this was everybody's fucking face. We're all wondering, like, what the hell is going on? I'm doing a terrible job at fucking sharing this right now. But basically, Alex Perez was getting his ass kicked, okay, by Sumudaerji. Sumudaerji was piecing him up. You know, first round was close, but both guys. But second round, Sumudaerji starts putting it all together, right? Song Yadong style. He's like landing nice kicks, good front kicks. Everything has snap to it. He's sort of like a bantamweight or flyweight Carlos Prates is what Sumudaerji was looking like, right? But then he gets a fucking little he takes that Carlos Prates style kick, those crispy kicks, which to be fair, like if you're getting kicked real hard by a guy like that, and he just nicks the tip of fucking Alex Perez's cock, man. Like, it's so ridiculous, dude. It was hard to find another photo, but thankfully I got it during the event, but they weren't showing it again, so I'm just, for the thumbnail, it was the same one that I had it there. It's like, literally, I put it down to 0.25x speed to just get the exact moment where he touched it. He touched the tip of his dick. And then for the next 5 minutes, you had fucking Alex Perez laying down, vomiting into a bucket. It's like it's funny because the referee, you had a super neutral ref. You had a British ref to deal with a Chinese fighter fouling a Mexican guy, right? So very neutral. But they get a Chinese doctor to come in, and the Chinese doctor looks in the bucket and goes, "It's just saliva." And I'm like, is it just saliva or is it bile? Because, I mean, this guy's been, like, retching for the last 5 minutes. And if it's all just an act, then shame on you, Alex Perez. And honestly, it might have been. But I also feel like the Chinese doctor might have been like, no, he's lying. He's, like, filled with vomit in there. It's like... Anyway, it was a bit of a performance. 2 seconds before this happened, Perez got dropped really, really, really badly. So it felt to me like he goes, I know that this can be a no contest if I just take it, and that's what I'm going to do. Perez wouldn't even touch Sumu the entire round and got dropped, so he had to fake it to keep his ranking. Yeah, like I wouldn't be surprised if there's some truth to that, you know? Perez is the new generation of Oscar winner. Yeah. Worst actor ever. Bro, you're wearing a cup. I mean, like, look, who knows what it's like, right? But this is pretty rough. Pretty rough. Couple other noticeable wins. Cody Haddon shuts down a Drickalang with a vicious knee to the body. This is with a fucking sick card, man. So many finishes. Like, the main card had pretty much all finishes other than stupid Jake Matthews. And then Ray Tsuruya was like, it looked like he might be the only Asian fighter to actually win. And you can see on his face, he's like, I need to be the Asian fighter to win. Otherwise, they're going to send me back to Japan in a box, dude. But it still wasn't the Chinese fighter, even Ray Tsuruya getting the choke. This is a nice submission. He dropped Homeboy fucking and threw him on his ass and sealed up that choke. Nice submission. Sick card. Let's just go over it again. Song Yadong beat Deiveson Figueiredo. Nice work. Outclassed him and then beat him with his own submission. Alonzo Menifield has really put the final fraud checking on Zhang Mingyang. Chinese fighters can only be good if they're little by the looks of it. Sergei Pavlovich did the same thing to Tallison Teixeira, showed that being 6'8 means sweet FA. Put him out. The old Sergei's back. Kai Asakura finally put on a highlight reel performance against Cameron Smotherman. But, you know, who knows? Let's put him up against No Love next. Jake Matthews beat Carlston Harris. Fuck that guy. Alex Perez fucking won an Oscar for his no contest against Sumudaerji. Luis Felipe Diaz had a nice KO over Yisak Lee. Sort of brutal. It was looking like a nice, close, aggressive fight, but then he just swarmed him and was able to get him out of there. Poor Ding Meng, dude. Ding Meng, 44 years old. I can't believe this was a pick'em fight, but Jose Souza was able to get him out of there. Not get him out of there, it's a split decision, but Ding Meng, all that waiting to get into the UFC for your debut, and then you end up getting fucking beaten. Cody Haddon smashed a Drickalang, second round KO. Beautiful body shots. Ray Tsuruya, like we just said, first round submission, rear naked choke. Angela Hill somehow beat Zhang Jingnang, or however the fuck I say that name. And I was surprised by this. I thought like her record was 18-6. I guess it's now 19-6. Like, how's she ever gonna? Oh, 18-16, 19-16. Anyway, Rodrigo Vera got a good first round KO over Zhu Kangji as well. He was meant to be on, I think he was meant to be on The Ultimate Fighter, and Michael Bisping basically passed on him, and then he stayed in Macau, or stayed in the area, and took this fight on super short notice. Comes in looking super mean and aggressive, and got the KO right out of the gate. And then Loma Look Bunmi, I can't believe my Thai auntie lost. Sawadee Krap, Loma Look Bunmi, Sawadee Krap. Jacqueline Amarim put a nice submission on her, like armbar, basically broke her elbow. Not so bad, but like definitely a dislocation or something like that. And then he's going up to Loma Look Bunmi afterwards, being like, grabbing her by the same arm that she just armbarred, and being like, hey, give me a hug, give me a hug. And Loma's like, fuck off, you fucking Falang. Anyway, this was a sick card. I was so glad it got to be earlier in the day. I wish they were all like this. Maybe not so early, because then no one from the US can ever watch, but it was a very, very good time.